Hi, Casselberrians. It is now time to have a casual conversation for the beneficial good of our community. The show you are about to listen to is called What's Up, Casselberry? And now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce to you your hosts, Andy and Drew.
Oh, and don't forget that lovely producer, Robin.
What's up, podcast listeners? It's Andy, it's Drew. It's a rainy day outside, but we are here for episode number 74 of the What's Up Casselberry podcast. Andy and I are Casselberry residents, local pastors, and friends who love to have casual conversations on this podcast for the good of the people of Casselberry about all things Casselberry. We've got a special couple of guests here coming up in a little bit, but Andy, before we get to our guests, how are you, my friend? How's your day going?
I'm doing great. I am trying my best to get packed. We're heading on vacation real soon. And so, I swear that the busiest 2 days of my work life are the 2 days before vacation because I'm trying to do 2 weeks worth of work to cover. But I am grateful, Drew, that you mentioned that it was raining and thundering outside, because that noise that our listeners may hear, just to clarify, is not our stomachs because we didn't have a good lunch. It is the thunder and rain outside.
That's right. You do not worry, listener. We have eaten plenty. We are full of energy, full of pep. We're ready to go.
That thunder is not within us.
Andy, it's obviously not a bike riding type of day today, but I did have the opportunity to ride my bike, and I took Jalen out on the little bike seat the other day. And you know what? We rode on the sidewalk kind of behind the Casselberry Elementary School and South Seminole Academy. And man, I did a double take when I looked at the elementary school. Listeners, if you haven't been by Casselberry Elementary, the brand new building that's getting built, it's in the process of being under construction right now. It is going up fast. It's got a beautiful brick exterior. I am so excited for that building and what a blessing it's going to be for our kids for years to come.
Yeah, I think so. Drew, we've spoken a lot about what a great staff and supportive community pours into our school. And now they're going to have a building to match that as well. And I think it's going to be a wonderful combination that will not only educate and shape our kids in a fantastic way, but that will also add so much to our community as well. We already know the school does a great job. And one of the reasons that people move to a community and invest in a community is because of the quality of schools. And now that we've got a school building to match the quality of our school teachers, I think it's very exciting. I think it maybe opens the 1st of January. Is that what you've heard?
That's correct. It's going to be completed and go live kind of the spring semester of 2022, I guess. Yeah, the very beginning of 2022. So we're just about 6 months out or so from
now does that make you wish you were an elementary student again, Drew?
Well, it does, mostly because life was much simpler.
It sure was.
Right? We always regret wishing we were younger, but the good news is I'll be able to see that kind of live vicariously through my son for years to come. Excited for him to join in a few years.
Drew, I've got a concern about what's coming next. Is it time?
Andy, it is. It's time for the dad joke of the week. Before I share this joke, I just want to inform our listeners that you, my friend, my co-host, are neither ignorant nor apathetic, but the joke has to do with ignorance and apathy.
That makes me a little nervous, Drew. Whenever anyone starts a sentence by saying, I don't think you're ignorant or apathetic, you do wonder what's coming next.
I know. It's like when somebody says something and it sounds very nice, but then they use the word but right after it's not going to go well. But for the sake of the joke, play along with me. Here we go.
All right.
Dad joke of the week. What is the difference between ignorance and apathy?
Between ignorance and apathy, I could probably make up some long-winded answer, but I don't think that's where you're going for. What is the difference between ignorance and apathy, Drew?
Well, thank you for asking. The difference between ignorance and apathy, I don't know, and I don't care. There it is. The dad joke of the week.
Hey, Drew, can I just say about your dad joke of the week?
Of course.
I don't know and I don't care.
Now, touche. That was nice. Well, listeners, we have a really, really cool instance, little celebration of our Casselberry police doing the good work of caring for our community. A story recently came up in the local news that an elderly couple was out very late at night. And apparently one of them at least needs the use of a wheelchair, and they missed the last bus for the night. And the bus is able to hold the wheelchair in place to get them safely to their home. So not knowing what to do, in the middle of the night, this elderly couple called the police in order to have some help, seek some help. And Andy, you are kind of in the know on what happened next.
Well, I am, and being in the know does not reflect positively on me because the officer involved, Officer Caruso, who is a wonderful man, a great police officer, actually called me as one of the chaplains and said, hey, do you have a truck that we could put a big electric wheelchair on the back? I'm like, sorry, man, I'm a small SUV guy. And he says, well, do any of your churches, in a city have a van that has a disabled access lift? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, dude. And it's like 12:30 at night and I can't help you. Good night. But he is a very resourceful guy. And so they managed to track down the community resource officer, I believe, and get the police department's truck. Some of the other officers came along and lifted this incredibly heavy electric wheelchair into the back of the truck. Then Officer Caruso gave this elderly couple a ride to their home in Sanford. I know, especially on night shift, there's a lot going on in our city, and these guys are busy. And so to take time out to care in this way, it was just fantastic. And we commend Officer Caruso and his care and his resourcefulness. But honestly, it's worth saying again, what you see in him is what you see in a lot of police officers. They have a very difficult job at times, and they tend to meet people at the worst moments of life, which alters our perception of them. But man, this was a caring thing to do that reflects a lot of the care that our Casselberry Police Department gives to our community.
Absolutely. And it also reflects positively on Chief Larry Krantz, our Casselberry Police Chief, and all the training and work that our police officers as a whole do to keep our community not only safe, but also protected. So thank you, Officer Caruso, and all who served in that great event. We really appreciate you.
Ascension Lutheran is located in the heart of Casselberry. For over 60 years, Ascension has been connecting disconnected people to the joyful community of the caring Christ. We have various Bible studies and outreach events throughout the week, and we offer both traditional, liturgical, and contemporary worship styles on Sunday mornings. For more information, please visit www.ascensionlcms.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, listeners to the podcast, welcome back to our favorite part of the show, where we interview some influential, important people in our community. We are recording 7:30 one evening, and we are talking as people who have kids, and especially our guests, and Drew, young kids. And so we are all barricaded in different rooms in our home, protecting it from distractions from beautiful little people. But we are thrilled today to have two very special ladies and moms with us today that share a very special connection. Lindsay Feist has been the president of our PTSA and has done an award-winning job, and we would congratulate her on that. But she is handing over the reins to Jen Hughes, who is our incoming PTSA president at Casselberry Elementary School. These are two very busy ladies who are entrenched in all things Casselberry Elementary, home of the Pandas. So ladies, to start our conversation today, and Lindsay, I noticed that you brought to this recording a very special pen. What is the strangest panda memorabilia that you either own or have seen as people are showing their Casselberry Elementary panda pride?
I think we've seen it all over the years. I mean, I'm in my going into my sixth year at Casselberry Elementary as a parent. I'd have to say, though, the strangest thing maybe was this year, a parent bought panda yoga mat for a kindergarten class. I'm not going to name any names, Jen.
Thanks.
But yeah, teachers and parents really, I mean, how can you not? The panda's adorable. So you do start to catch an eye, for things when you're out, anything panda related. Kids love it. The staff loves it. I do have my little panda pen here today.
Have either of you ever worn the panda costume? Do they still have that?
We do have that. I have not personally gotten in it. The temperature inside of that panda suit is off the charts high. We do have 2 brave parents that alternate getting in it, but yeah, it is not an enviable position to be in. The little fan in there, I think, broke a few years ago, and it's a warm set.
Yeah, I'm guessing the smell is probably not ideal. Jen, apparently you were the yoga mat.
I was guilty.
Mom.
Well, I couldn't help myself. The teacher in me saw that it was a great flexible seating opportunity, and with all the spacing that they had to do this year, I had to give the teacher, our kindergarten teacher, panda yoga mats. And I mean, what's not to love about that panda? I'm pretty sure out of all the Seminole County little mascots, we have the most adorable one.
That really is an amazing gift for that teacher or teachers. Jen, let me start with you. If as you're talking to parents, as you're kind of making your way in rounds around Casselberry Elementary School, you yourself were a first-year Casselberry parent this past year. If you were to meet a new parent that was just kind of coming in and checking out the school and the PTSA, what would you say is kind of what was the pull, the draw in your becoming a member of PTSA?
Was it the panda costume?
It was totally the panda costume. No, it was the fact that I might have left the classroom and I'm just mom right now, not actually a teacher. Actually, I am a teacher, but not at Casselberry. But I just wanted to be part of the school and see any way that I can help support our teachers and help make what I know is supposed to be an extremely memorable year for my kindergartner. And I just wanted to be part of it. I have tons of ideas and I just wanted to find a way to share them and hope they were good. But for me, I would tell another parent that it's just a really great opportunity to get your foot in the door to help even on the smallest scale. I didn't help much in the beginning, but then slowly more things became available that I was able to do. And I got to see behind the scenes more of the things that my son was doing in school. Because this was a unique year where we didn't exactly see everything. They weren't able to do as many activities, but being involved, I was able to see a little bit more of a glimpse of what they were getting done.
That's awesome. I love your attitude, just kind of jumping in and wanting to make a difference. Lindsay, having served as president for a number of years and just being involved in the PTSA for years, how have you seen individuals get involved and kind of what's maybe something you're proud of in regards to recruiting members and participants in the PTSA?
It's funny because if you ask 99% of people that have joined the PTSA, they typically will say very similar to what Jen said, right? I want to be involved in my child's education. I want to be part of that. I want to contribute to it. But I think the thing that I've learned is that you stay for everyone else's children, because once you get involved and you see everyone else's kids and you see how they interact with your kids and you see the positive impacts of the family engagement things that we're doing, I think people stay in PTSA or PTA for everyone else's kids. Obviously, your own benefit as well. But I'm sure if you asked your own kids, sometimes they would rather you not be involved and just go home, when the event's over. I want to be out of here, so you do put in those extra hours. But I think when your kids look back on it, they'll forget, those later nights and things and just be glad that you were there and proud of the work that you do.
That's awesome. You've really framed that, I think, appropriately in a very selfless way, right? I mean, people don't sign up for the PTSA because it feeds their ego or gives them some big paycheck or anything like that, right? There's no paycheck. No one's making any money out of this. You're just doing it for love of your kids, but more than that, other kids, and more than that, the school and the community. It's a beautiful thing. But that can get a little bit tough when we have a year like we've just had. Now, when I was on the PTSA, which seems like just yesterday, but it was probably several years ago now at Casselberry. The PTSA was all about hosting events on school campus and making food that we could give out to kids and things like that. But then COVID comes along and you can't really share food and you can't do events on campus. But I know you have both got very creative to take PTSA online this year. Tell us about some of the challenges that you faced during COVID and some of the ways that you've not just met those challenges, but honestly overcome them in great ways.
I'd say in a lot of ways, Jen stepped up this year as our hospitality chair. And I think she had to get very creative in how do you do hospitality when, like you said, you can't share food and there's very strict rules about who can come on campus and where you're allowed to be. So I think Jen's done an amazing job with our hospitality this year in making sure that our staff felt appreciated and seen and loved, and within all of those guidelines. And then, as far as family engagement and everything, we really had to sit down and say, okay, what can we do virtually and how can we do it safely? And how do we get the word out to everyone? That was a big learning curve there when we shut down. I'd say we've done fairly well. We're actually speaking on June 25th. We'll be speaking to National PTA at their convention on our virtual engagement efforts this year. So it's definitely caught some attention at the state and all the way up to the national level there. And we're proud of the work that we were able to do to try to keep people just connected through this strange year.
Drew, we've got a national speaker on our podcast. Can you believe that? Some national leaders in our midst.
So, Lindsay, no pressure, but we're expecting our subscribers to just triple, quadruple in no time at all.
I hate to disappoint.
So when you're sharing to this kind of national audience, what are some of the things that you will share about your virtual engagement? I mean, I've seen bingo nights and family board game nights and all from the comfort of everybody's home.
We did. We did a bingo night this year with families, brought in our media center technician, who's a big personality at the school. The kids love him, to be our bingo caller there. And that was a free virtual event for families. We also did a virtual trivia night at Christmas where we had a guest appearance from the Grinch himself. So that was fun. We did a virtual art night where we were able to partner with several artists within the community to host a drawing session, painting session, and music composition there. So we did some breakout rooms there with the kids where they could all work with their family together on some art stuff. We helped the school take their literacy night virtual by purchasing, it's milk and cookies at the school. Obviously we couldn't do that, but we were able to purchase cookies and send them home with all of our face-to-face kids, and then also have them available for our remote kids to come and pick up so that everybody could still virtually have milk and cookies together. So it's just really taking what are our face-to-face events that we did and how can we take them online.
We did a very successful trunk or treat.
We did a drive-through trunk or treat. That's right. That was huge. That was really huge and frankly a miracle. Because if you think about the timing of when we went back to school in August and they had not given us an answer if we were going to be allowed to do that at all on campus. So it was probably September before we finally got approval from the district to have a drive-through event that we were supposed to then have, mid-October. So thankfully, over the past 2.5 years, we've built some really good business partnerships within the community and had more than enough partners on standby ready to drop a trunk in the parking lot for families with very short notice. And that really was probably our biggest attended event of the year.
Yeah, we had an absolute blast participating with you in that event and getting to connect with so many families. Lindsay and Jen, I'm just so thankful that you all, not just the two of you, but your team collectively at the PTSA has been so creative and trying to make the school feel like a home, feel really like a community. Jen is the hospitality chair. Obviously, that was a big undertaking, doing a lot in terms of, I saw pictures on the teachers page of Casselberry and the administration bragging about y'all and how you cared so well for the teachers. Tell us a little bit about your experience kind of connecting with some of the teachers there at the elementary school, and just what do the teachers and administrators and staff mean to you and to some of the other moms and dads?
I feel like I know at heart everything that they've put into every year that they do, and that this year was just one of the most exceptional years that they had to go through. Just so many obstacles to overcome. And a teacher has such a big heart, and so does our administrative staff, trying to make this experience as normal as possible for kids and as fun as possible for kids. So I just had to find a way to make it special for them. It kind of just started off as a fluke. I feel like I stepped stepped into it in November. And Lindsay's like, oh yeah, by the way, can you do something for Thanksgiving? And I was like, oh my gosh, sure. Happy to, glad to, except I need it to be pretty because that's my personality. I just like can't present something that doesn't look as good as it's supposed to either taste. So I kind of just something that I enjoy doing. So I had a lot of fun planning out how to make it look pretty so that they would feel appreciated, even though it wasn't as big and grand as they might have had in the past. So we got a little creative on making things individual. I have to shout out to our Casselberry Publix because I had a link there in the deli department who really helped me get off what I would say was a pretty awesome lunch for the teachers at Christmas. But she called me and said, hey, guess what? It's on sale. So I had a pretty awesome lunch done at half the price.
Wow, that's remarkable.
I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed working with Lori over there in Casselberry Publix. So take your business there.
Oh, I know Lori.
Isn't she amazing?
Lori is incredible.
She is. She literally called me to tell me it was on sale. And I just appreciated that so much. But
Lori Ruby, she is one in a million. She is awesome. She's got
she has me going to that Publix instead of any other one because she has such a big heart.
Jen, I love what you said about making things look pretty when we're presenting to serve someone else. My wife has taught me a long time ago that no, you can't just throw a bag of chips on a table and call it a party. That is not sufficient. I've blown over. There's more to it than that.
Presentation is key.
That's right. Well, hey, keeping on this theme of teachers, but maybe open up to both of you. Was there really in the midst of COVID and some of the restrictions and the masks and the desk barriers and different things, is there just maybe a testimony, a little highlight of a specific teacher or a specific event and where a teacher really went above and beyond to show care for their kids?
I mean, I can only speak to the teacher that I had the most connection with, which shout out to Miss O'Reilly. We loved her. But she really and truly will never know how much our family appreciated the efforts she did in creating a learning environment that me and my son want to go to school in a time where it's his first year of kindergarten at a brand new school, which was way bigger than his beautiful little Willow Creek school. And things were just different, but she made him want to go every day and she made him love learning, which is all you can ask for in your kindergarten teacher. But in a time like this, she went the extra mile for everything. Even to the day we met her at Meet the Teacher, she said kindergartners are full of emotions and they need to be hugged. And with your permission, if they need a hug to get through the day, do I have your permission to give it to them? And as a kindergarten teacher and a mom, my heart just filled up because that's exactly what I wanted to hear from my kindergarten teacher. Day one, I felt like I knew that he was in good hands. I might not have liked everything that was going to happen that school year because I know what it's supposed to look like as a kindergarten teacher, but I knew that he was in good hands with someone who was going to do the very best that she could to make this as exciting as possible. And she succeeded, and we are so happy and grateful for her.
Miss O'Reilly was my daughter's kindergarten teacher as well. We had exactly the same experience. She's one of those established legendary teachers at the school. Lindsay, you have been the PTSA chair for a long time. And you've done a tremendous job, so much so that you were recently recognized by the county as PTSA Volunteer of the Year. Is that correct?
Adult Dividend of the Year. Yep.
That's an even bigger deal than I thought. Congratulations. And it's very well deserving. But as you prepare to step down from your leadership, and as you look back, Lindsay, what are some of the successes that you have made? What are you most proud of accomplishing as under your leadership at the PTSA?
I think just reigniting the team on the advocacy work that PTSA does at the state and national level and bringing more of that to the local level. We've done, like you said, for years, a great job at the family engagement on campus and the hospitality and taking care of our staff, but really bringing back that core mission of PTSA, which is to advocate for all of our kids. This year, when the pandemic hit, National PTA offered mental health grants up to $5,000. And I was first in line to say, this is something that we need to do because we're more than just bake sales and fundraisers and local fun. We have an obligation to also try to help our children's mental health, their family's mental health, their wellness. It's expanding beyond our campus and into the community and into those, all aspects of life, because the issues affecting our kids extend well beyond the school doors. So just resetting our mindset to say, let's get into the community, let's make a difference, let's advocate for things that make a difference to our teachers and our kids. And so for me, that's been my big focus the last 2.5 years with our PTA. And I think that we're not there yet. We're making great strides. We've gotten a diversity and inclusion chair on board last year that has signed up to come back again this year to help guide the work that we do and bring in as many voices as we can so that we are representative of all of our kids and all of our families and really, not operating in a vacuum.
I'm so thankful we collectively as the community in and around Casselberry Elementary School are so thankful for your leadership. Jen, we're so excited to have you part of our team. We're going to take a break for now and we're going to come back with part 2 of our conversation with Lindsay Feist and Jen Hughes next week.
Drew, we are so blessed within our community to have such parents who care not just about their kids, but all of our kids, and not just about their community, but all of our community as well. And I can't wait to hear more from our guests next week. But as we wrap up, you have some inspiration for us, I believe.
That's right, Andy. And our inspirational quote today is from a gentleman named Jim Rohn. And Jim said this regarding our life and the time that we have on this earth. Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. The reality, Andy, is as I think about not only my life and getting older, I'm looking in the mirror every day. I'm seeing some more gray hairs on my head. I am spending time with folks at our church and in our community who are aging. In fact, we've had several deaths in the past year plus. And the recognition that time is really the currency that matters. We only are given a certain amount of it. And so, listener, would encourage you, think about, what am I doing with my day? What am I doing with my week, my month, my year? Would I spend time on those things if I knew that I would only have a little bit more time remaining? Take an inventory, look at the time spent, and say, how can I move forward? How can I most valuably use this precious commodity of time? Use it to make yourself and the community the best it can be. Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Thank you, Jim Rohn.
Thank you, Drew. Some wise words there. Friends, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the What's Up Casselberry podcast, a casual conversation for our community, about our community. This podcast was produced again by the very lovely producer, Robin. For more information, please check our website, Facebook page, Instagram, or podcast feed, all that share that same name, What's Up Casselberry. Please like and subscribe to our podcast, and please rate and review us if you like us. If you didn't, don't. But until next week, we hope you have a great week.
And Robin is Beyonce, always.